What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you a quick NBA slate breakdown for the 7-game NBA slate we got tonight over here on DraftKings. Now, we got a lot more games than 7 on today's slate, but DraftKings, after giving us all the night games that start at 10, 10:30 and stuff like that, they decided they want to stop for whatever reason at the 9:30 p.m. game. Yeah. So either way, we're going to break it down. We're going to try to find some value, find some good stuff, and see if we can't recreate what we did last night with the core and being able to almost get a takedown. So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos, content or something helps you guys win some money. Speaking of the content, today is Free Friday, so everything, all my stuff, I have been posting it over there on the YouTube membership tab for you guys for free. For those that are on Patreon, yeah, everything is posted up over there. You guys can still have access to that right there. But if you want to continue to get this stuff right here, make sure you guys check that link right there next to the subscribe button. The join button is right there as well. You can join up to the membership and be able to see all the stuff that I post over here on YouTube, or look in the description and check out the link for the Patreon. Either one of those, you get access to all the stuff over here. With that being said, pretty lucky last night. The full slip over here for last night, can't see it over here on YouTube just because it doesn't let me post the full thing over here, but backloaded pretty much because knew that we had some injury news coming with Dame, him potentially being out. Of course, Rollins could start. Boom, went ahead and jammed in Rollins. Everyone went to Kevin Porter Jr. They have never started Kevin Porter Jr. no matter how many times that that Dame has missed. It's always been Rollins. Rollins has always gotten the start, even before Kevin Porter Jr. got there. So got him at pretty low ownership. Giannis, of course, the game ended up being a blowout, and that was fine. Faded the Dalton Connect just because I didn't think it was a value going to him at that 5,800 price tag. Instead, went with Gabe Vincent and Goodwin. Both of those guys had decent enough games. Goodwin, of course, popped off. And then got the right side of the quote-unquote revenge narrative. Instead of going with Zach LaVine, went with Kevin Huerter, and Kevin Huerter at sub 10% ownership. Definitely was a big reason. Dropped 50 plus fantasy points. Really helped almost getting and securing that takedown over there. So hopefully I can repeat that and do that again tonight. Hopefully the information I give you guys right here can help you guys create a decent core player pool and everything for yourself. And let's get at it. Injury news, as you guys can see, of course, it is the dog days of the NBA where people are sitting out on back-to-backs. People are being limited. Lottery odds, those lottery balls, those odds are juicing up. A lot of teams are fighting to get Cooper Flagg, who should be coming out as possibly the #1 pick in this draft. I understand there's a March Madness going on, so there's a ton of guys. Their stock is going to change throughout this whole thing right here. But if your team is in the lottery, hopefully you guys are watching March Madness to see what potentially you can get coming to your team. Starting out though, a game that might just be a fade because it's the lone 7 p.m. game. I really don't think we have to have anything necessarily from this. There is a spot or two that I do think might be interesting enough. Just depends on if the minutes and the upside can continue for some of these players. In this spot, Orlando taking on Washington. Orlando, Cole Anthony was not present at shooting around, so we should get Corey Joseph again in the starting lineup. Of course, the regular starters over here for Orlando. Washington Wizards, Sadiq Bey, Brogdon, Koulibaly, and Smart are all going to be out. Chris Middleton, he's going to play today. Jordan Poole, he's back as well. For the Houston Rockets side of things, Amen Thompson is back. He is listed as probable, but fully expect to play. I'm pretty sure he has this game circled because, as you guys can see by the cover photo, the last time that the Houston Rockets and Miami played, there was a little scruffle between a man named Tyler Hero and Amen Thompson. So this will be the quote-unquote rematch of that right there. I'm pretty sure there is going to be some bad blood because whatever was said by Hero to make Amen pop like how he did, this could be fireworks again, or someone getting ejected. Pelicans taking on Minnesota Timberpups. We already got news that Zion is going to be out today. Boston's out as well. Minnesota, nothing for them. And I actually need to check to see if they're on the front end of a back-to-back. So looking at it right here, the only team that I see right now that is on the front end of a back-to-back or anything is going to be the Washington Wizards. Everyone else up here, the Bulls, Lakers, Bucks, Kings, the Knicks, Hawks, Warriors, Pacers, Nets, don't have to worry about any of that actually on tonight's slate, which is really good to know that. So again, that's pretty good news. So we should get maybe decent minutes from some of these players, but this slate is the main slate is truly ugly to me in my eyes. There's might be some value looking at trying to make a late night core, late game, because we'll get to that later. Let me not jump ahead. But 76ers taking on San Antonio Spurs. we got a ton of injury news over here again. I don't know why they don't go ahead and just shut down Tyrese Maxey for the season. Same thing with Kelly Oubre, Drummond, and Lowry. They keep listing them on the injury report, but all those guys are going to be out. Bone is out. Lonnie Walker, which he's missed the last couple of games due to concussion, he's expected to be back, so we should have him back today. Definitely should be probably coming off the bench, but it doesn't matter. Quentin Grimes is in the line. Quentin Grimes is going up against San Antonio Spurs. This should be a good spot for Quentin Grimes. San Antonio Spurs, their side of things, Bassey's still going to be out. Regular starters that they have over here for them, besides the fact that Sochan probably isn't going, or Sochan probably is going to actually be the starter over Bismack Biyombo, but they have another 7-footer over there that destroyed the slate in 19 minutes. First player to ever do what he did in the history of the history. Charlotte Hornets, they're on the back end of back-to-back, taking on my OKC Thunder. LaMelo Ball, as always, he's going to be out on back end of back-to-back. Same thing for Mark Williams. They will rest these guys either on the front or the back. So we got that today, at least early news. We know this will be pretty much G League scrubs going up against the Thunder, depending on how long the Thunder actually roll these guys out there. SGA, Chet, Hartenstein, those guys expect to be in. Same thing for Aaron Wiggins. Casey Wallace, he's a game time decision. They are going to be without Lou Dort and Jalen Williams, the power forward Jalen Williams, not the center, who has dropped back-to-back triple doubles now. Detroit taking on Dallas. This one right here, I really do like this game. Should be a good game environment. Pretty healthy total with 231 and a 9-point spread, considering how ass Dallas is. But this could be decent right here, and I really do like the upside. Really no news for Detroit. Dallas, they're still dealing with a whole bunch. Brandon Williams is expected to be back and playing today. Now I know that they have to play a certain way in regards to his games that he can play, his eligibility, because he is technically on, I want to say, a two-way deal for them. So there's only a certain number of games that he's allowed to play before he needs to be converted to a regular contract. So it's very spotty in regards to his time and stuff, but he should be playing today. Boston, last game on the main slate. Jaylen Brown's already been ruled out. Xavier Tillman's is going to be out. And if the Utah Jazz, unless they magically decide they want to rule somebody in, John Collins is out, Laura Larkin is out, KJ Martin is out, Springer is out, and Clarkson is game time decision, possibly for him to miss as well. The only name you don't see up here is Keontae George. He is expected to play. Colin Sexton is expected to play. And the rest of the guys that we've normally been seeing, Collier, Filipowski, Cody Williams, those guys are expected to play. For the late slate, if you guys want some news or something like that, just let me know down in the comment section. I will give you guys that either in the comments or on the post over here on the membership tab, which will be completely free. But if you guys want to see it, you got to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, you won't see when I post that stuff right there. I will also drop a quote if you guys do want that as well. So head on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on. The site, if you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the Kang. Orlando taking on Washington, straightforward like it always is whenever it comes down to what are we going to do with Orlando. Now, this possibly, just because looking at it, the total in this game is set at what? 215.5, a low total, and it is an 8.5-point spread. I think that's debatable. Definitely kind of crazy that they're even going to give Washington that much, considering that they're really playing around with the minutes. You know, the vets like Poole, Middleton, they didn't play in the second half last time out, and Poole came off a horrible game. Now, they're one of those teams that we know are contending to try to get better lottery odds. They have no reason to win this game. The Magic, they're middle of the pack over there in the East, trying to make a playoff run, possibly not really going to do anything. So over here, it's going to be the main guys like always. Paolo, France, both of them, really great spot for them to even go up and play going up against Washington, because honestly, who's going to defend them? If the game blows out, it is going to be on the back of both of these guys, if not one of them. One of the two should be able to go out here and have a good day. I do like both of them here today. When you look at the value for them, of course, you might gravitate towards taking France over Paolo because Paolo is 9.9, but lower owned play would be go with Paolo. Paolo, he's getting his groove. He's been playing really well over his last several games. Looking at it, 48, 54, 62, 66, 40. Those are some really great numbers for him right there. Last time he played Washington this season, 30 minutes, only 33 fantasy points. It was a 20-point win for them, but the upside is definitely there. Now, France, on the other hand, he has played amazing versus Washington in both games that he's played, dropping 41 and 42 fantasy points. So I really don't think you can go wrong with taking either one of these guys. And then, of course, like I said, there's value. Corey Joseph sitting at 4K. That's definitely something that we can mess with right there. He's gotten the start over the last several games for Cole Anthony, who's been dealing with the toe issue or whatever, and he's given us a value. Honestly, at 4K, he's right there at the cusp of what I would be comfortable getting, which is at the 20 fantasy points, which he's shown us that he can get a little bit more, but still, for the minutes that he's playing, the role that he actually has out there, the upside is definitely there for you going to get him as a value piece. If you want to get something from this first game, I don't hate or mind going there at all. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you can mess with that right there if you want to as well. Wendell Carter Jr., opposing centers going up against Washington. That's been something that we've continuously attacked and targeted all season. Not a problem going to that at all either. On the flip side of things, looking over here at Washington, I'm not playing Poole. I'm not playing Chris Middleton. We'll not focus on the older guys over here just because of the minutes and just the foolery that I've been seeing coming from the Wizards over their last couple games. Instead, it is going to have to be the younger guys, the guys that I'm actually seeing play the role, play the minutes, and close out the games. So some of those guys would be, of course, Alex R. He's been balling over his last several games, and honestly, I really do actually like the upside for possibly playing him as a piece over here in this game. Just looking at what he's done, 41, 37, 54, 37. The ball is like, he's shooting lights out. First of all, definitely knocking down his threes, getting to the free throw line, knocking those down, rebounding, a little bit of playmaking, the defense and everything. I have him on a ticket already today for him to knock down at least 2 threes in this spot, and I don't mind it, especially going up against bigs such as Wendell Carter Jr., who will drop and things like that. He's knocked down 2 threes going up against the Orlando Magic in a game earlier this season, back in November. So I like the upside. It's definitely a possibility for him, and the usage right now that he's had has been tremendous over the last couple of games. So upside for Alex R as a prop play and potentially as a decent low owned piece on today's slate. I really don't see him being over, I'll give him on the high end 15%. That would be being very, very generous for him today. I don't really see too many people trying to click on his name. Now, outside of him, AJ Johnson, who's gotten a start over the last couple games over Champagne, he would be one that I would go to at 4,500. That's another value piece because game's close, game's blown out. He's out there, he's going to play the minutes. And 4,500, all I can ask for at least get me about to 25 fantasy points. Besides him, another one that has sneakily been getting the minutes and has caught my eye is going to be Kobe Jones. Now, he's not starting the games, but he is closing out and finishing. He's played back-to-back 25 and 26 minutes in the last 2 games. Looked very comfortable in that second game, dropping 41 fantasy points. I'm not going to say he's going to go out here versus Orlando and just like light it up and kill it, but in 8 minutes in that game that they played back in February, he did go out there and get us 10 fantasy points in 8 minutes, so over a fantasy point per minute. Definitely showing us with the 26 minutes versus Utah, I know it's Utah, that you can go out there and give us a little something. And if you're going to be going up against the B squad of Orlando, or if the game stays close, who knows what you can be able to go out there and do. Could be a nice low owned option that you can get to on today. Everyone else over there, I'm not really too interested. I really would just stick to the value over here on the Washington Wizards side, and then just Sar would be the only one I feel comfortable trying to get to outside of maybe you can still look to Carrington and Keyshawn George, but really it's just Sar. Just the usage that he's had has just been tremendous, and I cannot ignore that on today's slate. 76ers taking on San Antonio Spurs. Quentin Grimes, it's just crazy what he's going out here doing. Right now, I got him for a floor of at least 25 points at this point. He's just doing it all. Been a PRA monster, been a fantasy point monster, everything for props and stuff like that. If you're trying to build out a parlay, I definitely do like taking him for 25 points because going up against San Antonio Spurs, another team that's kind of thrown in the towel on the season and are weak themselves in regards to defense and what they're giving up to opposing teams, I don't mind taking Quentin Grimes for 25 points on today, maybe knock down 2 threes, definitely be 2 positions in spots that I can see taking a chance on. Not going to mess with the peripheral stats because that might mess with us a little bit trying to go there. So definitely just gonna look in that direction for Grimes on that aspect. Feel like that's pretty safe, and then I don't mind him as a decent play at 8-8. Possibly could be a little bit lower owned, but just the safety net that what he's been showing us over the last several games is there for us. Outside of Quentin Grimes and what he's been doing, Yabusele, he's starting, he's playing, he's getting some minutes, and he's back to kind of his fantasy point per minute production at 5,400. But I will say that if they are going to continue to let Brischetti go out here and play the minutes and play the role that he is, I do like him as a possible like upside play, especially because going up against the Spurs power forwards, they haven't been able to eat going up against them. Harrison Barnes, no defense I'm really too worried about for him. And if Brissett can find the usage, actually knock down some more shots and play defense, I do like the upside for him at that 4-4 price tag. That's not too bad. Outside of that, it's going to be the usual suspects who we've been going to over here. Jared Butler, who's been just a DFS darling, 6,300. I see him very highly owned almost every single time that they're on the slate. Granted, didn't pay it off that last time going up against the Thunder, but it was the Thunder, top defense in the league. I can understand that. At 6'3", it does make you kind of question, do I want to play Jared Butler, or should I just go ahead and suck it up and pay up for Quentin Grimes and just pay down for maybe a Corey Joseph or something else in the slate? He's definitely just touching some very not too friendly territory currently right now in my eyes, and I don't think that we need to, especially when you have other players like Justin Edwards, who's over here on the team. You got Lonnie Walker, who's actually going to be back, Brissett, like we already just talked about. So there's other options. I don't feel like we have to pay that for Jared Butler, but he's in contention and someone that you can consider. Ricky Council, I'm gonna say he should be coming back off the bench and everything for them. Still, he's going to be playing the minutes, but side really just has not been there. Instead, I would rather just try to figure out, maybe take a chance on Lonnie Walker, or just go ahead down there to Justin Edwards over Ricky Council if it came down to that. On the San Antonio Spurs side, another team where we're going to want to focus on the young guys and not focus too much on the old ones, like Chris Paul. I understand that he's going to start. I understand he's going to go out there and play his mid-20ish minutes, depending on what's going on out there. But I'm not going to take a chance on Chris Paul. That 31 minutes after continuously 25, 18, 22, 22 minutes over their last several games, I'm not going there. I'm just not. 4,600. I don't care. Well, I would care if Chris Paul was at 3K and you're telling me that he's going to play at least 25 minutes. He will be able to give me good value. But 4,600, there's other actual starting point guards and things like that we can get to, and I just don't see the point in going there, especially when I can come down here and get a Keldon Johnson who's going to play over 25 minutes over here for these guys. Take a chance on that. Sochan, if you're going to tell me Sochan is going to go out there and play 38 minutes again, just really had a pretty shitty shooting night, but was doing everything else out there on the court. Yeah, going up against the exact same, well, not fully the exact same, but going up against the 76ers, who he played 32 minutes on early in the season and dropped 29 fantasy points. I will go right back to Sochan when it comes down to it, between him and Chris Paul. Outside of that, of course, Castle, Vassell, both of these guys, they're only 100 difference, both of them shooting guard eligible. Both these guys, great spot for them. Castle, he's just been continuously performing for us. To me, shoe-in to at least go out there and get me about 20 points when it comes down to it. One of those, another ones that you can consider if you're trying to make like a same game parlay for this game. Definitely would look towards Grimes 25, Castle for 20. Look to Sochan, maybe taking for like about 6 to 8 rebounds would be something I can mess with right here in the spot. Vassell, if you don't want to play Castle, who normally is going to be higher owned between the two, Vassell is your direct pivot between them when it comes down to it, and also has just that dual eligibility for shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and guard position over here on DraftKings. Makes for very versatile in regards to filling out your lineup. Everyone else over here, we can go back to the Savim Hailuk potential. Hey, let me go out here and shoot 13 for 14, 7 for 7, drop 34 points again. If you believe in the hype and you want to go back there, go ahead and mess with that. I'm not going to chase a really good game. I've never been one to truly do that. If it burns me, is honestly how I look at it. That's definitely one of those lightning in the bottle, Chris Bouchard type of games right there. Houston Rockets taking on Miami. Everyone is pretty much back and healthy. I have to see what this lineup is going to be. Who is going to go to the bench? Because now you actually have everybody fully back. Jabari Smith Jr., of course, we know he's going to be on the bench. Tari Easton has been starting for quite some time. Is a man coming back? Is he going right back into the starting lineup? That's the question that has to be known. Is Dylan Brooks going to shift back down? Who's starting at the 4? Now we got to know who's guarding Bam, who's guarding whoever Miami actually decides they want to roll out there at the 4. I will say all these guys over here for me on Houston, they're in play. Freddie V, he's starting to catch fire, looking pretty good over his last couple games. Would not mind going there to him at 6'8". This would be one that you can pivot off of Jared Butler, just because everyone's back and they might not want to go to it. 4 for 15 going up against Orlando. Still dropped 34 fantasy points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, kind of stuff stat sheet. Don't mind getting there to him. Outside of that, Dylan Brooks, he's a DFS darling in regards to like random blow up games that he just decided he wants to have. That's GPP side for me, not something that I mainly want to get to. Of course, we know the history currently right now, 8,900 for Min Thompson, and we've seen him come back from injury before and go out there and play his regular normal minutes. So I'm not going to worry too much in regards to the minutes for him, unless Udoka legit comes out and says, hey, he's going to be limited to less than 30 minutes. Then I was like, dang, I guess we should probably fade back. And if that's going to be the case, then that's going to boost up everyone else into the starting lineup, like Jalen Green, Freddie V, Dylan Brooks, and of course Shengoat up there as well. Jalen Green, who's been catching rhythm, been playing very well over his last several games. Wouldn't mind going to him. I know the last time they played Miami, went out there, gave us a snowflake. 34 minutes, 25 fantasy points, GPP option that we can get to, especially because Amen being back. I think a lot of people are going to jump ship and not really want to mess with that right there. So there's some different options and ways, but we have to know exactly what this lineup is going to be over here for them. On the Miami Heat side of things, which Miami, man, talk about a team that has legit just slid and just looked awful. And Jimmy Butler is legit like, hey, this is why I wanted to leave and I wanted to get out of there. They're not winners. They are on a huge slump. I want to say they've lost the last 11 games. Blew a lead that they had versus Detroit last time. They are literally going down in history as the worst fourth quarter team out there right now. That is horrible, especially considering the lineage and everything that this team has. It is just abysmal. Looking at it over here for them, of course, Hero, the fight narrative or whatever you want to go with this one right here. If Tyler wants to come out here and actually pop his shit, 8,300, we can mess with that right there. Between him and Bam Adebayo, we know that's going to be the 1-2 punch over here for them. Everyone else over here for me on Miami, really all fades. They're going to go into a tough matchup versus Houston, who was top 5 in the league in regards to defense. I don't have any interest in anybody over here except for just the narrative that's being played out over there for them. Honestly, a big scratch for me, period over there. Kind of the same thing over here for the Charlotte Hornets. Main player that's going to be playing, and it's his birthday, Miles Bridges. He's going to be going out here without no LaMelo, without Mark Williams, maybe possible triple-double upside. We've seen him be able to go out here and stuff the stat sheet in multiple ways. But you are going up against the #1 defense in the league, and that kind of gives me a little bit of hesitation to even look and click in his direction. Now, I will say the one that I'm having a hard time deciding what am I going to do with this, because I truly don't know what I'm going to do with it. Nurk should get the start here. Nurk is sitting at 3,700. When Nurk has gotten a start over their last couple games, whenever they've played a little pity pat thing in regards to him starting, coming off the bench, Mark Williams, the rest and stuff like that, he's put up over a fantasy point per minute in every single start that he's gotten, whether it's been 16 minutes, dropping 24 fantasy points versus Orlando, 27 minutes versus Sacramento Queens, where he dropped 34 fantasy points, versus Cleveland when he started, 28 minutes, 43 fantasy points, and that one right there. I don't know what I'm truly going to get from him, and it scares me a little bit. I want to look at him as a possible potential core piece just because I know he does a lot. He does everything. And versus the Thunder this season, he hasn't played the best. When he was back on Phoenix, he played 29 minutes, only gave him 13 fantasy points in that matchup. But different team, different role, doing a little bit more. Granted, still a shitty defender, things of that nature, trying to take threes and stuff, knocking them down every now and then. It's a real GPP option, but I do have a little bit of interest in him just because he's 3,700. How bad could he kill me? If he can go out there and give me 20, I will take that. And that makes my day and life a little bit easier right there. Outside of him, we are going to want to focus on the peripheral pieces. I'm not going to pay up for Miles Bridges here in this spot. I really do think it's going to be like the Nick Smith, the Bog, the Jeffrey, Seth Curry, if he even gets to start, KJ Simpson. Those would be the guys that we want to focus to if you're just trying to get like pick a piece or two over here. But honestly, the decision is going to be, do you play Nurk or do you not play Nurk? If not, I'm not really trying to look at anything from the Charlotte Hornets. They don't stick out unless a whole bunch of injuries just pop out and they're going to be ruling everyone out. On the OKC Thunder side, this is really where you call the dog days of the freaking NBA right here. So Chet Holmgren went out there, played 23 minutes versus Philly last time. Didn't play, I want to say he played like a little bit in the second half. Kendrick Williams started the second half over him and everything. So it was like, if they're blowing him out by a good portion, if this is just like, hey, let's just make sure we keep you guys in game shape, game thought, run our sets, practice what we're doing in practice and stuff like that in the game setting, do I take the chance in trying to play a Chet? Do we take the chance in trying to play a SGA, who more than likely could go out here and drop 30 points in the first half? Now, he does have a streak going right now with at least 20 points. I want to say it's like the longest streak or something like that going on at the moment. So I could mess with going with SGA if that's going to be the case. Probably as like a parlay piece would be where I look towards that. So for me, the Thunder, it's really going to be the side pieces over here. The Aaron Wiggins, even though he's a potential player to possibly be limited in his role out there, but Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, the center, those would be the main guys that I kind of want to focus to over here. I don't see the starters. I don't see Charlotte being able to keep this close, first of all. And I don't see the starters having to play those deep minutes. And I'm a bit scared off of planting my flag on trying to play a Chet and Hartenstein, because to be honest, 11-6 for Shea, I'm not paying that on the slate. Not when I have legit Cade Cunningham and probably the best game on the slate, good price, and playing, I want to say, close to home. And we're going to talk about that when I get over there to the Detroit game. But like Cade on today's slate, SGA, I'm sorry, brother, but no. Definitely a parlay piece, more like that. 25 points, 5 to 6 assists. That's where I could see SGA as a potential piece or anything like that. But this game, honestly, as a whole, is more like an X. And the only thing that really just sticks out to me is just the price on Nurk and the fact that he's starting. Pelicans taking on the Minnesota Timberpups, and the Pelicans, they went out there and they squeezed out a win, which I still don't understand why Zion is out today when they they're not even on a back-to-back. For the Pelicans, in all honesty, with Zion being out, this is hard really to gauge, and this could be another one of those games I see as a cross out. It was by Zion just being out there and the force that he was playing with, why they were able to even win that game last time out. So I have a lot of just, I don't want to say recency bias, but just doubt in the Pelicans tonight. In that regards, of course, if you want to take them, they're all going to be GPP options to me. CJ McCollum, there's no telling how many minutes he'll actually be able to go out here and play. I know he can go out there and light it up from three. I've seen some people out here talking about his 3 points made, 2 to 3 threes and things of that nature. That's potential. Yeah, I know that the Minnesota Timber Pups somewhat slack on defense here or there and whatnot, and can let you stay in the game, but I don't know. If I had to take anything from over here, it would have to be the main guys that should be playing, which would be, of course, Kelly Olynyk, Jose Alvarado. It's a toss-up in regards to, is Bruce Brown going to get the start out over there for Zion, or are they going to go big and like just go really huge with Carlo getting the start, something like that? Hawkins should be safe to me in regards to the minutes, because he should still play his 20-ish minutes either way with Zion in or out. Hell shit, they might decide they want to start Hawkins, but until I get a clear space for this, Alvarado will probably be the only one I might take a chance on. Didn't do too much out there in regards to scoring, 3 of 5. Still, of course, his assists, no steals and stuff like what he's pretty much known for. But 20.75 fantasy points, right around the realm of what I could expect for him at 4,800. Drop down to 46. I could definitely mess with that here on the day. But just it's really kind of hard for the Pelicans to me. Now, on the flip side of things, the Minnesota Timber Pups, Anthony Edwards has been on a tear lately, and if you haven't been watching, he's getting to the free throw line a ton and knocking down those free throws and everything. Dropped 47 fantasy points in the last game versus them in 38 minutes. Of course, they took the L, back-to-back L's versus Indy and versus the Pelicans. They will get the win here today. I do not see them losing this game. Like, this would be just floored if they did. And definitely a spend up option you can get to. I really don't see myself getting there just because I really cannot see this game staying close. Now, of course, with all the bias that I have, the game is probably going to stay close, and I'm going to be eating my words myself. But outside of that, of course, we could look towards players like Mike Conley as a decent value play. He's at 3,600. 3,600. He is going out there. He's playing mid 20 minutes, giving me at least 20 fantasy points versus one of the worst teams guarding the point guard position. Just dropped 25 fantasy points versus them last game, 22 the game before when they played early in the season back in January. 3,600. He's gonna play. He makes for a play. Of course, I'm gonna have to take that at 36. Like that's just crazy to me right there. Now, unless he gets ruled out or something like that, of course Dante would get the start over him, or in that case. But still, just 3,600 for Mike Conley. This would be the price that Chris Paul would have to be for me to want to play him for the minutes in the role that he's gonna have out there. Like that's what I'm talking about in regards to why would I play Chris Paul over some of these young guys. But outside of that, Jaden McDaniels had a pretty bad night last time out. Only 4 shots in that game. 15.5 fantasy points. This is definitely a bounce back spot for him, and I do like the upside as a potential play that you can get to if you're not trying to spend up for the Anthony Edwards or the Julius Randle. You want to come down there, Jaden McDaniels, who's been doing a ton, and I like the upside for him here as a position and spot that you can take. But other than that, man, it is hard to even suggest anything from that game right there. Detroit taking on the Dallas Mavericks, who are just Jesus Christ. Cade Cunningham. Just straight about out the gate. It's Cade, man. Cade. Like, he has dropped nothing less than 50 versus the Dallas Mavericks anytime that he's played them. And the way that Cade is playing right now, the role, just everything that he's doing, I definitely see a triple-double in this game. He could potentially go out here and get the triple-double versus them. That's for a fact. Just the rebounding upside that he's been showing us. The scoring, of course, that's going to be there. The playmaking in regards to the assists and everything that he does. He runs the whole offense for this team. I like it. And Dallas has shown they can be able to keep the games close. It's not a double-digit spread, so I do have some faith in Dallas that they can make this a game. And Cade at 10-4 just makes the ultimate sense. Like, we don't have to worry about trying to pay it for Harden or anything like that on today's slate. We're definitely not messing with SGA. The closest to that is going to be Paolo and Anthony Edwards in regards to like spend up. Oh, and Tatum, because he's on the slate as well with no Jaylen Brown. But Cade just makes too much sense to me, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be highly owned. So of course, all those other players I named, those are going to be your direct pivots off of Cade. Just the game environment, the spot, everything, the consistency that he's had in this position, it just makes too much sense to want to play Cade Cunningham. Outside of Cade, of course, they Kai Jones, he's back. He's playing out there for Dallas. Definitely might be able to give Jalen Duren a little bit of trouble out there, but still, Jalen Duren versus them dropped 44 fantasy points back in January. We can go right back to that at 6,700. Just makes too much sense right there. Outside of that, we can take some chances on Asar, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris. Those are other spots that we can look to. But other than that, really, it's Cade and Duren. Main 1-2 punch I want to get from over here. On the flip side of things on Dallas, Najee Marsh, PJ Washington, they're leading this team. They're taking all the shots out there for him. They're doing everything out there. Najee is another one of those guys that I wouldn't mind taking him for 15 to 20 points. Same thing for PJ. PJ has to score. He's gonna break a ton of shots probably in the beginning or whatever. But the matchup as well, power forwards going up against the Pistons has been something we've targeted, or at least I've targeted throughout the season. And I got PJ for him to go out here and at least go get me about 25. Like, for a fact. I know he's going to go out there, try to take his threes. Hopefully he rebounds pretty well in this game, because I do think rebound upside could be there for him as well. But PJ Washington, Najee Marsh, both of these guys just make sense to me. They're going to be leading the charge. Spencer Dinwiddie, depending on if he's actually starting or not, you can mess, and you can go to Dinwiddie if you want to. 42 minutes in the last game versus Indy, 46.75 fantasy points. Again, I'm not chasing. I understand back-to-back really good games. Unless he starts, I'm not going to focus there. If they start my boy Brandon Williams, then I'm going to look towards him. 5,800, and the kid hoops when he's out there. I understand. 32 minutes versus Philly, bad shooting night. But if he's good to go and he's back and he's going to be the starter, I would rather take him over Dinwiddie, because Dinwiddie's sitting at 62. I know the upside that Brandon Williams can actually get me. I would rather go to him. I understand, kind of an undersized guard, but still, wouldn't mind getting there. Kai Jones, GPP option that you can get to, pretty much the only true center that they have on the court for the Mavs. And dude, 24 minutes. If he didn't go crazy in Charlotte, I do think that we could have seen just some magic with just the lob threat and everything that he had. Just the crazy athleticism that the dude has with him and Melo. That would have been wild to watch. Everyone else over here, Max Christie, Edwards, Klay Thompson, they're second fiddle, all GPP options. The main targets you want to get to is going to be Najee, PJ Washington. Maybe we can come down here and definitely, of course, most of my boy Brandon Williams. As long as he starts, he's there. I don't mind it. If you're looking for potential parlay pieces that you can take, I definitely would mess with PJ Washington for 25 points. Najee Marsh for between the 15 and 20 points is where I see that realm for Najee. And definitely you can mess with Najee's rebounds. I take him for about 6 to 8 rebounds as another play position, because he's a very good rebounder whenever he's out there for him. Actually, one more that I need to actually do a little bit digging into would be his assist, because he has been pretty consistently in regards to that assist department with the 2 to 3 assists out over there for them. All right, last game of the slate. If you guys haven't done this already, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you guys can continue to support your boy. It means a lot, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of these videos. Trying to definitely keep it around 30 minutes, because I see that you guys like the 30-minute videos versus me going out here rambling for 40 and on. Boston Celtics, straight up to the point. They're without Jaylen Brown. It's Tatum, it's Porzingis, it's Derek White. Jrue Holiday, with the way that he's been playing, you cannot cross him out, and you definitely should be looking at him. He's ramping up, getting ready for the playoffs. That's what I see in my eyes. I feel like he was limited pretty much all throughout the season to get ready for, hey, these last couple months before we get into like the real nitty gritty of where we need for you to be ready. He's getting ready. The peripherals, they've been there for him. And continuously with them resting players, the upside is there. The defense, you're going up against the Utah Jazz. Utah at home is different than on the road. We just got to hope Utah can keep it close for 3 quarters. That's all we need. That's all we need. Now versus Utah, where it was 114 to 108, back in Boston, they kept it close. He dropped 30 fantasy points in that game in 32 minutes. So upside definitely could be there for Jrue Holiday. Outside of that, of course, like I said, Derek White, Porzingis, Tatum, all those guys are going to be in play. But Peyton Pritchard let a lot of people down last time, including myself. 34 minutes versus the Brooklyn Shitters, only 19.5 points. The upside is there. Did not play well versus Utah again. 26 minutes in that game, 18.75. This is the ultimate pivot off of White, the ultimate pivot off of Jrue. Just go with a possible low own Peyton Pritchard. That's where I would actually take if I'm building a GPP line and I'm like, yo, I want a player that's going to explode, that's going to just take me to the top. That should be, and this is a spot he should be low owned. 6,100 over Jrue Holiday. I don't see too many people trying to click on that name. The only other guy I got to call out is this motherfucker who randomly went out there and dropped 32.25 fantasy points. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Because that pissed me off, bro. He was getting all the Peyton minutes and shit, man. That was driving me crazy. On the flip side of things for Utah, I really kind of don't see myself getting too much from these guys, but we'll just focus on the main 3 guys that have continuously produced for us. That would be if they start him. If Filipowski's still starting, I don't mind going to Philip just because he's been actually playing pretty well over his last several games. 21 minutes, 30 fantasy points, and didn't play in that game versus Boston, I don't think. Oh, he did. 16 minutes, only 14.25. I'm pretty sure that was off the bench. Collier, we're going to have to look towards him just because he's going to be out there, definitely a play. And then Colin Sexton, if he's not going to be limited on the minutes and he's going to be able to go out there and play 30 minutes, then I can play Colin Sexton. But really, I'll focus on Flip. I will focus on Collier. Those seems to be the 2 that are getting the burn, getting the run, getting the minutes, and that's where I would actually go. Or just fade Utah altogether and just play Boston. That's truly what you should do. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully, you guys are able to get something. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully, you guys go out here and get a takedown as well. This was the $40 single entry contest that I played. Debating, I haven't even locked in my contest yet, and it's freaking going on 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got to do that for today. Hopefully, we cash out back-to-back days. Good luck to everybody. Core dropping later on. Peace.